The much-anticipated arrival of St. Lucia's first consignment of vaccines under the Kovacs program touched down Wednesday at Uranura International Airport. Leading government officials were on hand to welcome what is being viewed as a watershed moment in St. Lucia's campaign to get the COVID-19 crisis under control. The Kovacs facility, which is funded by some of the world's leading nations, seeks to sponsor the vaccination of 20% of developing nations' populations. St. Lucia's immunization manager, Tekla John Baptist, welcomed the batch of some 24,000 doses of the Oxford Astra-Zeneca vaccine.
St. Lucia, as a member of the Kovacs facility, will have the benefit of accessing safe and effective vaccines to cover 20% of its population. Today, we received 24,000 doses of this allocation. As we transition into phase 2 of the national campaign, this first tranche will allow us to vaccinate approximately 6.6% of the population, and that's with 2 doses. This will be part of the national effort to build immunity against the COVID-19 virus and also strengthen public health strategies to manage this pandemic. Remember, we are all in this together. No one is safe until we are all safe.
Prime Minister Alan Chastanet, speaking at Wednesday's ceremony, said the significance of the occasion should not be lost. He says the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on the lives of so many people is profound.
Too many people have had to make a significant sacrifice during this crisis. And again, I don't want to ever take it for granted what they've gone through. Very difficult time. And certainly being able to get income back into households where persons right now, I think, are in survival mode. I don't think anybody's talking about using these monies to buy a home or to move on, but we're all just bracing ourselves and surviving it. But I'm really hoping that within the next couple of months, that solutions will be encouraged by a lot of the work that has been taking place behind the scenes. The Ministry of Tourism, along with the Ministry of Infrastructure, have worked very hard to get airlines to fly back to St. Lucia. So one of the benefits of never closing our borders has been the confidence that we have developed with those airlines. So we actually have more airlift coming into St. Lucia between July of this year until December than we had in July of December of 2019.
The British government has played a leading role in the Kovacs facility, which has as its goal the more equitable distribution of the vaccine, ensuring that poorer nations are not left out in the effort to protect their populations during this pandemic. The acting British High Commissioner, Steve McCready, says this is just one of the means through which the United Kingdom's government is helping other nations cope with the negative impact of the pandemic.
To date, the UK has contributed £548 million, or just over $2 billion Eastern Caribbean dollars, to Kovacs. Equally as important has been the UK's global influence, implemented through our policy and persistence in encouraging other donors to support the mechanism. And of course, UK science has played an integral role in development of the vaccines. Along with Kovacs, the total UK aid commitment to fighting the pandemic globally is now £1.3 billion. The UK government understands the global pandemic requires a global solution, and that until we all defeat the virus, no one will.
The Pan American Health Organization's country manager, Dr. Reynold Hewitt, says Kovacs is a demonstration of the nations of the world coming together for the common good.
Today, the Pan American Health Organization, as a procurement agency for the Kovacs facility, is delivering the first allocation of 24,000 doses to the Ministry of Health and the government of St. Lucia. Access to COVID-19 vaccines should not be a privilege for the few, but a right that we all share regardless of who we are and where we are from. PAHO is supporting countries in distributing COVID-19 vaccines to their populations, building on their long-standing experience with vaccination campaigns and immunization programs. Around 142 million people have received at least one dose of vaccines in the Americas as of April 1. That is 26% in Latin America and the Caribbean. As our PAHO director, Dr. Carissa Etienne, recently mentioned, immunization in Latin America and the Caribbean should be a global priority, and our region needs vaccines as much as possible to vaccinate as many persons as possible and to save as many lives. The arrival of Kovacs vaccine in our region and today in St. Lucia is a historic milestone, as well as a combination of months of negotiations and commitment to global solidarity.
The Minister for Health, Senator Mary Isaac, says the arrival of the Kovacs batch of some 24,000 doses marks a significant milestone in St. Lucia's efforts to combat the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic.
So today is a very momentous day. This occasion is a very momentous occasion, and today is a very special day that we are seeing that the Kovacs mechanism, the vaccines through that mechanism is unfolding. This is the first part of the vaccines. We're supposed to be receiving 75,000, I believe. So I am sending out the message that we need to continue to vaccinate. As you can see, the staff of the Ministry of Health, they have produced all these beautiful placards. They have their T-shirts. So their heart and soul is into it. And they are the ones who know about the science. So let us follow in those footsteps and ensure that we get all ourselves vaccinated so that we can get our country back on track.
To date, St. Lucia has given the first dose to 1/8 of its targeted population for the receipt of the vaccination. The arrival of the first Covax batch of 24,000 doses, with another consignment expected before the end of March, will provide a spring in the step of the campaign to get more than 120,000 residents fully vaccinated. Stanley Lucian for the HTS News Force.